internet subscription, free airtime, 50,000 Naira cash rewards, and lots more. Isn't that a cool way to strike off those?
Don't say Sister Banker again in your life.
I actually included that when we're going over that.
It's not
they wanted me to jump in. So why don't we personalize this thing? When I started going through names, we're like, okay, they're like Titi, no, Neka, no, BC. They were like, yeah, we're not settled on Banker. It's crazy how the thing.
It's not for you.
It wasn't my choice. It wasn't my choice. They just said Banker. Let's go.
Studio guys. And a good morning to you once more, Lagos. It's time to jump into the world of Business Express. So as we do that, remember to send in messages to us on 0809 444 0981 or tweet at us just using that hashtag Business Express 981. Rotus is going to take us through this morning's drill. What's up, Rotus? Good morning.
Good morning, Folu. Good morning, Lagos. I'm going to try and move the camera like Ebony Ma with my... Okay, that's not working. Hello, everybody out there. So yes, we have Ugo Dre of NairaMetrics and Olamide of ARM in the studio. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Good morning, Lagos.
Yes. So, real quick, market activity was positive on Friday. I don't know if it's because Avengers came out, but it was positive 1.15%, 41,244.89% points on Friday. Market cap is at 14.9 trillion. So far this year, the market is up by 7.8%. We had 25 gainers, 14 losers. International Breweries was the top gainer on Friday, up by 10%, 51 naira is where it closed. Forte Oil was the top loser, down by 4% to 45 naira 20 kobo, and the parallel market closed at 363 naira to the dollar. So speaking of Forte Oil, we're going to be looking at first quarter performance from a couple of oil and gas players, starting with Total. Olamide, what are we seeing here? Some, marginal decrease in revenue for top line for Total. What's going on?
Well, looking at Total's Q1 results, what you'll find is they had a decline in EPS relative to prior quarter. So EPS declined by about 19% to 492 naira, and look at that's basically from the tax. So tracking back to or going back to top line, what you find for amongst the downstream players, I think Total was able to do good for itself in terms of margin. It was able to record 11% margin compared to 10% in Q4 2017.
Okay.
And that's basically they're getting support from their lubricant business. So remember in 2017, their full year result, they had indicated the fact that they had expanded the market share to about 28%. Also, capacity had also increased to 33%. So in terms of challenges in their major business, which is PMS, distribution of PMS, it's still their supply has increased, but they still have cost pressures. So the only way they were able to record the expansion in margin was basically from lubricants. Going down to up until like the PBT operating environment was really favorable for them.
Okay.
Going up until their PBT was high by about 24% to 2.6 billion naira. So up until PBT they were actually fine. It was just the tax charge they recorded, and which is not far-fetched. So what you typically find with Total is Q1, Q2, Q3 they make higher provision for taxes, and then in Q4 it's typically lower. So effective tax for Q4 higher provision for taxes, and then in Q4 it's typically lower.
That's the
effective tax for Q4 higher provision.
Can you hear that? That's us. We're just an echo. It's okay.
It's beautiful.
It's just, hey, that's what it is.
Okay,
that's
so
all it is.
effective tax for Q4 17 was about 3%. Q4 16, you also see that trend was like 1.5%. So this year, first quarter 18, it was 37% really. So it's just the normal tax levels that they return to. So it's, I think amongst the downstream players, I think they did well in terms of their Q1 results.
Now the stock it's marginally down for the year, 3.2% year to date, but closed 222 naira on Friday. Do you guys have any recommendation on Total?
Well, currently we still have a sell rating on Total, and that's because as much as they've tried to work on their lubricants business, increase their market share, the major driver for the business is still PMS, and as it is, except as a deregulation in that market, they will still face pressures on margins. So currently our fair value estimate is about 212 naira, and we currently still have the sell rating.
Okay, what about MRS? So what are their performance for Q1? How are they looking?
For MRS, really, relative to what happened in 2017, nothing has really changed for them. And now looking at their earnings also declined for them by about 35% to 147 naira. And we're at said by the time when we released communicated our the Q4 results they released, we communicated that the company is set for a loss this year, and that's basically due to their finance charges. So looking at Q1 results, I mean, they had higher volumes, which was evident. NNPC trying to increase supply in the market, but that affected their margins. So margins fell from about 6.4 to 5.7% in Q1.
Okay.
Also, in Q4 17, they had this really high advertising expense, which was out as at Q1 18. So they were able to, as at operating profit level. So compared to Q4, where they were at a loss of 1.1 billion, in Q1 18, they recorded operating profit of about 658 million. So it was good for them this quarter. And then their finance cost, so considering they recorded a net finance cost of about 85 million thereabouts, which is really low relative to normal levels, and also considering the fact that they took a loan of about additional borrowings of about 3.5 billion this quarter. So that just tells us that Q1 earnings, I mean, it wasn't a loss relative to Q4, that it was just the tax credit that brought them back to profitability. It was better, but I think Q2, Q3, Q4, you see the finance costs play out for them. So we still think they're on track for that loss, except so they have a receivables of about 16 million that they're expecting from NNPC subsidies and all of that. So except they receive that, I mean, this is almost May and budget has not been approved, so getting that is still there's a lot of uncertainty with that, but except that comes in, they're set for a loss this year.
Okay, but we're talking downstairs. Despite this relatively gloomy outlook for MRS, you guys still have a buy rating. Explain yourself. Where is this buy rating coming from?
Well, like I said, so yeah, we have a buy rating of about 35 naira, and that's basically from, so beyond 2018, this all under recovery that NNPC is doing definitely is not sustainable. We're expecting crude prices to actually come down, so their deficits will actually expand beyond 2018, right? Then also MRS specifically has also taken it's really been beaten in the past period. So it's been at 28.35 for like last 2 weeks.
Yes.
Before then it was at 27, and the last time it was 2013. So I think the stock has really been flogged, and in terms of valuation, and that's beyond 2018, they actually could be value for them based on the fact that we're expecting we expect some actions from government, really, in terms of either deregulating, increasing price. So something needs to happen in that space, because the PMS market has actually suffered.
All right, very thorough stuff there from Olamide on the couple oil and gas plays. Ugo Dre, let's come to you with foreign portfolio investment for the month of March. What are we seeing? I'm showing a jump, Ugo Dre, as far as FPI coming into this beloved country of ours. What are we seeing?
Yeah, so FPI was up 50 something percent month on month. It's now 48.5% of total investment inflow into the Nigerian stock market. So what does this mean? So investors typically look at the FPI versus local domestic, foreign versus domestic portfolio inflows into the stock market, and the reason is that if you have FPIs increasing, or you have a lot of foreign investors coming back into the market, that creates the kind of liquidity that we need to drive share prices either up or down. So, and over the last year or so, we've seen an uptick in foreign portfolio investments in the country. I think in 2017 we closed at 46%. 46% as a ratio of portfolio investment in the country against domestic. So we want to see it above 45%. I think in years past, I think just before the crash, the oil crash, I think we were at 50. It was almost, I think it was even 55, 45. But something that we also noticed is that there's been a lot of domestic interest in the stock market as well. A lot of Nigerians are gradually getting back into the stock market. They're beginning to look for better investment outlets out there, and now that treasury bills rates are dropping, so people the risk appetite is much better now. But we always want to look at these FPI numbers. It's very important. Once you see it start to dwindle, then you start, it's probably suggest that foreign investors are leaving. But you don't just do it on a month-to-month basis. Wait for like a quarter. So if you see that the trend is steady over 3-4 months, then you start to get worried.
So speaking of getting worried and speaking of foreign portfolio investment dwindling, with us approaching an election year, you think this is going to maybe trickle downwards? I mean, it's a long way to go. I know.
It's
Sorry.
still a long way. I mean, elections are still a year away,
Yeah.
Or less than a year away. So perhaps let's maybe around the third, fourth quarter, you start to if it starts to trend further down, then it means that the risk is higher. So people are saying that there's a lot of election risk, but I doubt that's going to happen. At least that's one of the reasons why Buhari is in the United
Right,
States.
exactly.
Sorry,
Okay,
in
go ahead.
addition to what he said,
Yeah.
in terms of portfolio flows into the country, looking at what has happened so far, fundamentals are actually good for Nigeria.
Okay.
Like you said, the only risk is the election. Now, amongst the countries in the frontier space, you find that Nigeria is still cheaper than the likes of Mexico, the likes of Indonesia, the likes of Vietnam, and all of that. I think we're just Egypt. We're also cheaper than Egypt. It's just Kazakhstan that that's trading at a discount to Nigerian stock exchange market. So in the real sense of it, if you look at Egypt's election also, I mean they had the election sometime early this year, and what you find was the market actually rallied in that period. So the PE actually went higher in that period. So in terms of election risk for us, I think foreign investors will be more focused on fundamentals right now. How bad the election is going to be, or what risk they might expect from there. I think I don't think it will be so priced then.
Okay. We will remember this conversation, of course, as time goes by. Well, good stuff on the both of you. All right, we've got a couple minutes. Stock picks. Ugo Dre, anything you like in the near term?
If you
Sorry, please, disclaimer as usual. Please talk to your broker, of course, like ARM, before making any decisions that you hear on the show. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so I've got this on a stock recommendation. These are basically stocks that are on our watch list. Of course, if you want you can check them on NairaMetrics as well. So I've got Fidelity Bank on my watch list this week, expecting results from them this week. They are the only tier 2 bank, I think, that's yet to or major tier 2 bank that's yet to publish their results. I think they're
right.
So we're waiting for them. Forte Oil on my watch list. Forte Oil 20% pop last week. Are they going to sustain that rally that they had last week? Everybody always looks up the Forte Oil.
Right.
This is another great rally. So that's on our watch list. Unity Bank. Disastrous week last week.
Yeah,
that's on our watch list.
Are you serious?
They keep falling. Nobody knows. Wando did very well last week as well on our watch list. Are they going to sustain that? They released the slew of results last week, their full year results and then a quarterly results. On the group level, they did well, but on the company level, the losses still remain. So you got to look at the company, not group. For me, FBN Holdings as well. They released their own results last week. Things seems to be on the up there. A little bit of dip in their interest margin for first quarter of 2018, so a little bit worried. FBN is one of the best performing banking stocks currently. So are they going to sustain that this week? It's on our watch list. Nestle I think is paying dividend this week. So if you own Nestle stocks, then you got to look out for your bank alert. So you'll be getting an alert pretty soon. Consolidated Hallmark as well on our watch list. I think that they're getting marked down this week as well. So if you own that stock, then you got to look out for it. So those are the stocks I think I have for my as well on my list.
We've only got 10 seconds. Olamide, you can give us one stock before we sign up.
Well, we have Seplat, we have First Bank, we have UB, we have Zenith.
All right.
Stock picks.
So some tier 1 stuff. Good stuff. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Olamide of ARM and Ugo Dre of NairaMetrics.
Thank you very much, people. Coming up next, we will be jumping into Frankly Speaking with Miwa Folabi. So keep it locked right here, and the 7:30 detailed newspaper analysis inside of Freshly Pressed. Good morning, Lagos.
Thank you, sir. This thing, the YouTube thing, gets us every time. Even with Valentine, like you play it and then the volume pops on, and it has to quickly turn it down. Yeah.
Quick teller.
Thank you.
It's 6:45 a.m.